What has four wheels, comes with all-wheel drive, and optional Atlantis Blue exterior? Well, it's definitely not the Kia Sorento we have over here.
I think it's a Santa Fe, but only if you get it in blue.
Only if you get it in blue. Hey everybody, my name's Gabby.
I'm Charlotte.
And today we're giving you a full live stream walkthrough of the 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe Luxury in Atlantis Blue. Now Charlotte, what are we doing in today's live stream?
In today's video, just like what Gabby said, it's
I kind of
live.
just told you.
Yeah, it's live stream. But we're doing a full and complete walkthrough, so we're going to be giving you guys all of the information on the exterior, the interior, the powertrain, the tech, the safety. If you want to know about it, we're going to tell you about it. And the best part is that this is done live, so if you have questions, feel free to put them in the live chat. And if you're watching this after it's already posted and still have questions, put them as a comment down below. We do monitor them for you.
All right, let's get right into it.
Let's go.
So starting off with the MSRP, Charlotte, what's it priced at?
This is priced at $50,999, which is a $1,000 price increase from the 2024 model.
And has anything really changed from last year?
On the Ultimate Calligraphy, yes, not necessarily for this trim though.
On this one. Well, we'll start off with turning on the lights so you guys can see the full and complete design when it comes to the exterior. Now, one of the things that makes this vehicle very unique is really going to come down to its design. It's definitely not like the Santa Fe's of the past, which followed a more traditional SUV approach. This one's bold and it's funky, but let me tell you, especially in the luxury trim, they do not miss the mark. There is so much tech, so much safety, and so much comfort in this vehicle. It is truly a pleasure to drive, and especially when you're inside the cabin. Oh, you can get past the bold design by just enjoying the cabin comforts. But let's start off with what this vehicle looks like. On the front end, you'll see we got a lot of H's going on, and it's not just our Hyundai emblem up on the hood. We have an H motif in our headlamp unit, so we'll take a look at that. But that's not just for design. We actually have a full projection LED headlamp. So it's going to project where you need it most, making sure there's not too much glare for other drivers, and it's just focused on where you need it. Speaking of, like I said, it's an LED, but everything on this vehicle is going to be LED. Even your daytime running light that expands all the way across the front end. And take a look at some of those dark chrome accents on their front grille. This vehicle has a lot of design cues to it, and I really do like it. If you guys want to let us know what your favorite part of the Hyundai Santa Fe is, don't say H motif, let us know in the comments. We also have a body color front bumper over here, and you guessed it, another H. But if you look a little closer, you'll notice we also have forward parking sensors. There's also active grille shutters in this vehicle to allow more airflow. And if you take a look in the very, very center, there's even going to be a forward-facing camera. That's going to start on the luxury trim level, and it's going to give you a full 360 view of everything around your car. So if you are parking in a garage, or you just live in the city and you've got a lot of parking maneuvers you got to do, whether it be parallel or anything really, you can see exactly how close you are to vehicles in front, beside, and behind you with the breeze of the 360 camera. You also, in terms of safety, have this forward-facing radar plate. Now this radar plate certainly does a lot. It's going to be active for your collision avoidance. So this vehicle can pick up pedestrians, cyclists, other motorized vehicles, and even work in junctions. So if you're making a left at a busy intersection, the car is constantly scanning around you to make sure it's ready to take action if there is a risk of a collision, but it'll always warn you first. I will pop the hood so we can talk about powertrain. I personally love the powertrain that's in the Santa Fe when we're talking about the turbo, non-hybrid. You get a lot of power and it's a lot of fun to drive. So this vehicle is going to have a 2.5 liter turbocharged GDI plus MPI engine. So that is essentially going to mean gasoline direct injection plus multi-point injection.
Woo!
Gasoline direct injection has a lot of advantages, but it also comes with some disadvantages, and that's where MPI comes into play, giving you the benefit of both fuel delivery systems. It just is more efficient, it's going to work better, and it's better for the longevity of the vehicle. You get 277 horsepower with 311 pound-feet of torque. And again, those are not race car numbers, but this is a 3-row family SUV. It's got plenty of get up and go, and the fuel consumption ain't even that bad. It's 10.6 liters per 100 kilometers, and that's for, again, the turbo model, not the turbo hybrid. 8-speed dual clutch transmission. Dual clutches are a ton of fun in SUVs. Are they the most practical? Maybe not, but you can certainly make do with it if you know how to drive a dual clutch transmission, and we will link our dual clutch video in the description so you know the ins and outs and make sure you can maximize the capability of your dual clutch. Speaking of capability, this vehicle has 3,500 pounds of towing capacity, which is quite nice, and there's even an XRT trim if you'd like an additional 1,000 pounds. For your wheels, you get 20-inch alloys. I personally love this design. You also get a Pirelli all-season tire, so a more premium tire. This again has all-wheel drive, and I know in Canada, may not be the same in the States or other markets, but we have all-wheel drive standard on the Santa Fe, and it's also going to come with terrain mode standard. So terrain modes are snow, mud, and sand. It's going to change the torque split between the front and rear wheels, but also your stability control and steering to make sure your vehicle is as capable as can be depending on the modes that you're in. Alternatively, and more so for everyday use, you do have drive mode select too. So that's going to change the engine, the steering response, and the throttle response in tune with what you're putting it in. So eco mode will feel a little bit more dulled down, but it's going to be more efficient. Sport mode will give you the most get up and go. Doesn't add any horsepower, but it certainly feels a little bit more peppy and definitely more responsive to your driver. Foot. If you got heavy foot, you will love it.
Some prime moves there.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at around our wheel wells. You'll see we do have some plastic cladding, but if you look a little bit closer, you'll also notice that there's a sensor just on the side. Now this vehicle is going to have not only front and rear parking sensors, but side view sensors too. So like I said earlier about parallel parking, not only will you be able to see thanks to the camera, but you will get audible input in the cabin to let you know if you're getting a little too close to something. It's also going to help for things like your lane change, not lane change assist, but blind spot detection. So it's just going to give the vehicle a little bit more of an advanced sense of how close you are to vehicles around you. It also makes your lane following assist a little bit smarter because it senses things like if a vehicle in the adjacent lane is riding the lane a little bit too close, it'll center yours to go a little bit more to the left or to the right so you're not too close to them. There are some black accents along your fenders, so if you look a little closer and depending on our camera quality, you'll see water streaks, but you'll also see Santa Fe. Your mirrors are going to be power folding with the turn signal indicator and a little camera underneath. That's going to be your blind view monitor. Every time you go to indicate a turn, whether it be for a lane change or a full-blown left or right turn, you'll see exactly what's in your blind spot, which is super helpful. You still have the tried and true blind spot detection as well too. So that's when the mirror illuminates the little icon to showcase if there's a vehicle in your left or right blind spot. Now this vehicle also has digital key. Digital key is pretty fun. It allows you to unlock, start, and drive your vehicle from your phone or your watch. If you don't want to use that though, and you'd rather things be a little bit more classic, there's still a comfort function in this door handle. We used to have a button, but now all you got to do is put your hand behind the handle, and as long as the key's somewhere on you, could be in your pocket or in your bag, it'll unlock the door for you. When you're done driving, press on the indent and it locks it for you. So you never really have to dig for your keys. Up at the top, we got a raised roof rail. It is in a gloss black color, and if you'll notice, your pillars, which are pretty chunky on this car, it's a boxy vehicle, are all going to be gloss black as well. You may see that it shows watermarks a lot.
It was a quick cleanup this morning, guys.
Yeah, you guys, it's rainy. We're a car dealership. YouTube is the least priority here in the cleaning department, apparently. All right, and then along the back end of the vehicle, you'll notice things are pretty flat, but there is a reason for that. It's almost a complete 90-degree angle, if I'm being quite honest. This is the most controversial part of the Santa Fe. I personally love it, and it really helps when it comes to headroom on the vehicle, but also maximizing your cargo space. So before I actually open the lift, I'll talk about some things back here. We do have rear parking sensors. They're in the silver painted portion of the back end of your vehicle, and we do have a chrome plate painted rear skid plate. Single-sided exhaust, backup camera, of course, and LED taillights. Now the lift gate, you can adjust the height, so if you think it's a bit too tall for you, you can certainly customize it. And like I said,
it's tall. It's a big opening, guys.
It's more of an obtuse angle. It's a bit higher than 90 degrees, if I'm being honest.
Like that's huge. Like that's a ton of space.
This is a lot of doorway. But you can see where it excels because there's no real slopes here. It's just a giant rectangle. So if you are loading this up with cargo, it is very, very easy to maximize your storage space. Underneath the floorboard here, you do have a little bit of storage on the left-hand side. The right-hand side is going to be taken up by your tire mobility kit. Talking about space, with the third row folded down, you get 2 seats in the third row. There's a lot of usable room. Charlotte, do you want to come a little closer?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
All right, with the third row folded down, there's a lot of space. If you do need to use your third row, each seat is going to have its own individual tether. You're just going to give it a pull. I'm trying to balance myself. The floor is wet. We're in heels.
Plastic.
Oh no.
Oh, I hate those.
You're
gonna get snapped.
No, not
Ooh.
today. Don't worry guys, we will throw that out after. So 1 seat up, 1 seat down, very easy to do so, and there is Velcro on the tethers too, so they're not gonna get lost or stuck in the side. You'll always be able to find them, provided you put them back. Each one of these seats do have top car seat tethers, and if you look on the right-hand side of the cabin, you'll notice we do have rear ventilation. You can adjust the amount of airflow and of course the direction of the fan. There's also USB-Cs back here, cup holders, a household inverter too, so if you want to plug in anything larger like a laptop. And then even more so on the right, we do have the buttons to fold over our left and right second row seats. So you can fold them both, or you can fold them individually. Of course, the left-hand side is a 60 split, so you're gonna have that middle seat go down with it as well. And then everything when it comes to USB-Cs and air vents are gonna be repeated on the left-hand side.
Minus the inverter.
Yes, minus the inverter. All right.
You do have a 12 volt back here though. Yeah.
No.
Nice.
All right, let's close this up. It's a 67-liter fuel tank, and like I mentioned earlier, 10.6 liters per 100 kilometers combined. Let's take another look at our wheels, and we'll talk about brakes too. We'll say the fuel consumption on this vehicle is very, very fair. However, Hyundai did something a little bit different when it comes to the trim lines of their vehicles. Typically, you would expect a hybrid vehicle to be in the higher trim lines, but it's actually in the entry and second to entry trim where you get the turbo hybrid. Everything else is just straight gas. For our wheels, again, we have solid disc brakes in the rear, ventilated disc brakes up front. They are going to be a little bit larger in the front too, of course. And guys, this vehicle is a ton of fun to drive. A lot of that is, again, going to be thanks to the cabin, where the luxury trim truly takes its name. You can guess there's a lot of luxury features in there.
No way.
You guessed it. And Charlotte's going to take you guys on a tour inside. Before we do that, though, I just want to give you guys a sneak peek. You may have noticed that there's a white Sorento in this video bay right next to it. And that is arguably the sister car. They share the same powertrain, they got a lot of similar features, but there's also some major differences. At 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, we're comparing these two vehicles side by side in a live stream video. So if you want to kind of figure out which one's best for you, that might be the live stream to watch.
See you at 2 p.m.
Shameless promo. Yeah. All right, let's switch, Charlotte.
All right. So I'm actually going to continue a little bit with our shameless promo, because if you guys have not already liked this video, please do so. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It really helps us out a lot, and it's free to do so. Also, if you have any questions about Kia or Hyundai product, whether it be learning more about highway drive assist, lane keep assist, lane follow assist, we have a whole playlist dedicated to Kia Hyundai classes. We also have playlists dedicated to every single vehicle in the Kia and Hyundai lineup, so please go and check them out if you want to learn more. But I think we should take a look inside. All right, so I'll have Gabi give a quick pan over of the cabin. That way you guys can take a look at this. And as Gabi mentioned, this is going to be a 7-seater configuration, which it's really nice to see a higher trim that still offers 7 seats, because that actually isn't something we see in the Sorento, but that's a little bit of a spoiler. So you still have to come back at 2 to learn more. Don't worry. But let's talk about some features that do start on this vehicle. The first thing, which is one of my favorites, is going to be memory seats, and this is going to include the placement for your mirrors. Your mirrors, they are power folding now. Fantastic. Which means it's going to save your mirror configuration to your memory seats. A lot of the the upgrades in this vehicle has to do with the seats themselves. The fact that we're adding more powered elements. They're real leather, they're heated, they're ventilated. The second row is heated, very, very comfortable, and you even have a power passenger seat, which we'll show in a couple seconds. For our windows, you can see that we have the front 2 are going to be obstacle detecting in one touch with regular automatic, and we have a one button that is going to work for our child lock and also for our window lock. Down below, cup holder and our sound system. No premium sound system in this vehicle. It is just regular in-house. But when it comes to design, you can see that we have a lot of these lighter chrome accents. Also, they option for some wood grain trim, which I think looks really good. And if a black interior is not your thing, because this is real leather, it's not a leatherette, you actually have the option to get this in a beautiful pecan brown, which we have done a video on too, if you guys want to check that out. And I love a colored interior. All right, let's take a closer look at the seat though. I mentioned that you are going to have lots of different ways to configure it. So you, of course, have your backrest, your regular height adjustment. You can bring the seat forward, backwards, but then you're also going to have the start of 4-way lumbar support. So incredibly comfortable. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm talking a lot more than I have the past couple days. I've been recovering from strep throat, so I'm struggling a little bit. But here, if you guys want to go and take a look at the seats too, you'll notice that we see the continuation of that H motif. And again, very comfortable seats. They're really going to hold you in, especially with adjusting that lumbar support.
They're very wide.
They're very wide. So nice, very nice for long trips. I'll point out over here and then I'll have Gabi come around. You can see the start of some ambient lighting stretching across the dash. Again, this is going to start on this trim. Your electronic parking brake, brightness adjuster, tailgate control, and your traction control. All right, do you want to come around?
For sure.
Great.
We'll do a quick recap of powertrain again. 2.5 liter turbocharged GDI plus MPI with 277 horse, 311 pound-feet of torque, and 3,500 pounds of towing capacity. It doesn't stop there though. Like I said earlier, the XRT brings you up to 4,500 pounds of towing capacity. Hello.
Hello.
You want me to show the seat?
Yeah.
Okay. Same design elements as Charlotte, so those H motifs. And we still have a power configuration, you just don't have lumbar support. So backrest, height, and of course the tilt of the seat.
But it is very nice to see height adjustment on a passenger seat. Not something that we see too often. All right, I'm just getting the rest of this plastic off, guys.
Someone just said the wheels look small for such a huge vehicle. Could be the way we're filming them. I think these are 20-inch alloys. I don't think they look small.
If you think that these ones look small, you're gonna hate the Sorento X Pro because they have 18-inch alloys.
Yeah, but the tire on them, definitely.
It's a knobby tire, yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with the cladding around the wheel arches that might make it look a bit smaller, but also the angle that we're filming.
But yeah, 20, they're pretty good. They're decent size. All right, so let's get back to talking about this vehicle. And directly in front of me, you'll notice a steering wheel. That's pretty standard, right? It is going to be leather wrapped. It's also heated, and we have that H in Morse code in the center. We're going to have a split between our media and our driving controls. And then behind me, I'm going to have the option for paddle shifters, my lighting stock, and then also my wiper stock. Directly in front of me, you'll notice we have this huge 12.3-inch instrument cluster, fully digital, and I can use this notes icon here to go and cycle through my vehicle's computer. Also to see navigation, because this is going to be the start for integrated navigation, so you have the full version of the software. And then also when your safety features are going to be enabled, you'll also notice that we do have a digital speedometer and digital tachometer. Tachometer, there we go, confirmed. As we move over, actually having the lights off really shows the nice glow that the ambient lighting gives. So maybe we'll just highlight that for right now.
It's very bright.
It's very bright. You get a nice little bit of underglow here too, from your display and not just from your dash, but looks very good. Another 12.3-inch screen for your instrument cluster. Looks fantastic. As I mentioned, we are already going to have that navigation. And when it comes to your phone projection, it is a wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, so no cords are needed in this vehicle, which is so great. And this is one of my favorite softwares that Kia and Hyundai has done, probably my favorite to date. And it's quickly become one of those things that it's a non-negotiable for me, if I'm being completely honest. The nice thing too is this software is very responsive. It offers a lot of different opportunities for customization, and you can even drop down to further customize in these quick controls with a lot of things like navigation volume, beep control, and stuff like that. So tons that you can do from this screen. Setup, if you want to adjust those safety features like Gabi mentioned, you can definitely do so from here. Your driving convenience is all going to be listed here. This is also where you can access your ambient lighting if you do want to go and change the color or link it to those drive modes that Gabi mentioned. So let's set it to red. Oh, purple. Red. Oh, blue.
It looks like it's blue.
Good. Guess we're sticking with that, guys. So lots that you can do with this vehicle, lots that you can do. And then as you move down, you'll notice the fact that we've got our vents. It is a push to start, and you'll notice right here, instead of having a shifter in the center, we have a column mounted shift by wire. So what you're going to do is basically you're just twisting it to put it into drive or reverse, and then tap down for park. And you do of course have neutral on there too. Now in the center, I really like how this is split up, because it is very different than what we see in the Sorento, because you have the option for all of these buttons and dials for your media and also for your climate control. The nice thing is you're also going to have the integrated search function, so if you want to search an address, contacts, or even safety features to customize or your drive modes, you can actually do so just from here, which I think is very convenient, especially if this is the first new vehicle that you've had in a while, and can help sometimes with the learning curve. But you're already going to know everything about it if you watch the Kia Hyundai channel, so don't worry, guys, it's fine. So like I said, real buttons, real dials. Down here, you do get a little bit of haptic feedback when you press for the heated or ventilated seats for the front. You're going to have your heated steering wheel, front and rear defrost, and also front and rear climate control can be controlled from the front. Front and rear defrost, dual zone climate control, and you do have an auto defogging windscreen and a PTC heater for a little bit more efficient for your climate control. You'll notice we have a wireless phone charger here, so completely wireless experience, but if you do, you have the option for a USB-C for charging or connectivity, or just for regular charging. Giant cup holders, we have tons of space in here too. And for our center console, you have illumination. Love that. And it is very deep, and you even have a hidden storage pocket here, which will be accessible once this is pulled out. But it does not end here. I'm actually going to close this for right now.
See if I can turn the flash on. Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, you want to show it again?
Okay. So very deep with this hidden area back here, which is accessible as it's pulled out.
Secret tunnel.
But it's also accessible for those who may be sitting in the second row, so it can open both ways, which I think is very convenient. And that way, if you're the driver, you don't have to go and be digging for everything.
Also, just because I knew we were going to get that comment, this didn't break. You can remove it. It's removable.
Yeah, it does that intentionally, guys.
There we go.
We can see the comments now. That's okay. Up top, we do have a dual pane sunroofs, with the first one being the one that opens. So it is still a nice wide type, which is very nice. And then for our lighting on the inside, it's also going to be interior LED lighting. Our mirror, I'll just point this out, it is an ECM mirror with home link, so you can connect your garage door openers if you'd like. And we also have this nice darker gray cloth headliner. Looks very good overall. Storage compartment still down at the bottom too, with a 12 volt. And do you want to show upstairs and downstairs glove box?
Sure. Upstairs glove box. This one is actually a UV cleansing tray on the calligraphy model, and just a storage in this model. There's a little bit of a lip over here that goes fairly deep if you want a little bit more storage. And then you got a traditional glove box. It's actually fairly deep too, so.
Yeah, like you can fit a plate rack in it, a plate mount in there. So.
Yeah.
Decent amount of space. I will also note that this vehicle does have Hyundai's Blue Link, which is going to be their telematics system, which gives you that smartphone capability, which is very nice to see, especially because you have digital key. That's going to work very well. Pretty much everything can be done from your phone. All right, let's take a look at the second row.
Sorry, I'm leaving the flash on.
That's fine. Actually, that's villainous. One of the things I love is we have integrated rear sunshades, so these can pull up. That's going to start on this trim. And yeah, there we go. You'll also notice that we have heated seats too, so very comfortable back here. And I love how the second row has dual mounted cup holders in the door, and you still have a bottle holder down at the bottom. So very well thought out when it comes to the amenities back here. And speaking of amenities, the backs of the seats, you'll notice that we've got hooks, dual hooks actually. We have USB-Cs, we have these plastic pockets, and this is all plastic, so it's easily wipeable. Now, if you're looking, thinking, oh man, for a car like this, it should have some rear air vents. We know it's got rear climate control. Where is it? Well, it's just pillar mounted. So there it is.
The gimbal's moving slowly but surely.
Yeah, slowly but surely. And guys, that's not an H motif, that's an I motif. Up top, you'll also notice the fact that we have some more lights. We have some hooks and then your handles too. I probably should have opened this.
We're getting asked what's a UV cleansing tray. Well, exactly as the name suggests, ultraviolet lighting to cleanse things like sunglasses.
Bacteria.
Yeah, just kills it all.
It was big during 2020 if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
The UV sanitizers. Drop down armrests. Adjustable, very wide, which just, again, it's going to show how wide the middle seat is too. 2 cup holders here as well, and this can pull out, and from here you can access those compartments that I showed from above. Very nice. These seats are going to be on a rail system, meaning they move independently, so very nice to adjust pass-through room or for car seats. And like I said, it is nice to see the fact that you get a higher trim vehicle, but you still have that 7-seater capacity, meaning you still have a ton of cargo space while being able to accommodate 5 passengers. Do you want to knock down this seat?
Sure. So each far seat, so far right, far left,
locks on.
is going to have this button where you can slide the seat forward and allow yourself space into the third row.
Okay, I'm not going to climb over it. I'm going to redeem myself this time, guys.
There's a little bit of a step there, and to make things even easier, if our gimbal shows it, there's a handle here that you can grab to help guide yourself in.
Very easy. I didn't get my heel stuck in the rail this time, so that's a win for me. Let's see if I can get this up. There we go. Okay, pull these back. Okay, so now you guys were able to see how easy it is to do all that, meaning I can do it, which
It's
is
actually
nice.
quite a bit of space.
Yeah.
The flash helps.
You actually have a very decent amount of space. You'll notice, I'm not sure if you can, but we still get this nice convex in the roof line, even though we have a sunroof, which usually takes away headroom. This is still gonna make it feel like you've got a lot more than you may expect. I like that I still have hooks on the backs of the seats too. I've got rear tethers. I should have lower latch anchors back here. Yes, I do. Lower latch anchor, cup holders, and all of the amenities that we took a look at earlier. Sorry, I'm really out of breath.
It's okay.
Now, it is very easy to get out from the third row. You'll notice that each seats are gonna have the button on the top. Press that, it's gonna come forward. I'm able to grab the handle and exit the vehicle.
It looks like from this angle that there's no room for Charlotte to get out, but there is.
Clearly I did.
Samarth asked a question. Let me see if I can find it again. Do you think the 2 12.3-inch displays up front should have a matte glass instead of gloss that's currently there? So it's glossy, but it's not that glossy. I mean, you can definitely see your fingerprints right now, but there is no glare while you're driving. And we've driven this vehicle in daylight. Obviously, it's hard to show in our video bay, but it's turned in a way where it should not get obstructed by sun glare.
Yeah, so it's got a slight angle towards me, which is gonna help alleviate a lot of that glare too. Here, I'll put it back into accessory mode. that way you guys can see. Now, I'm not mad about the framing of it not being like a matte or anything like that, because like when it comes to the fingerprints, it's always going to be on when you are driving, which is, unless you intentionally try to turn it off. So stuff like that doesn't bother me, where something like a piano black console would, too, when it comes to fingerprint smudges.
Said the 2.5. Sorry, I want to find somewhere to put
Do you want to
this.
sit in the second row?
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Hold on. There we go.
Okay.
I just want to read the question first before we hop back. Canadian Chapin said, 2.5 turbo dual clutch killed all my illusions of buying this car.
Why?
So, I will say, a dual clutch might not be for everybody. I think the most important part of dual clutch ownership is you should know how it operates, and that helps people better understand why they feel the way they do. A lot of people complain about it feeling maybe a little bit jittery, a little bit harsh. They will be a little bit that way at lower speeds, especially when you're reversing. It's going to feel like you're in a manual transmission almost, but that is just a characteristic of a DCT. There were some software issues with the DCT. We're not denying that at all, but keyword software issues, there's always repairs for that. Totally.
And we have OTA updates.
Yes, things are getting better.
Yeah, so for examples, I drive the Kia Sorento, which is going to be the counterpart. It's going to share the same powertrain. I'm a daily driver in a dual clutch, where the bulk of driving that I'm going to do is city. There's a hill that I have to go up or down every single day, and depending on it, I can get stopped on that hill. And to prevent it from feeling like I'm slipping the clutch or anything like that, you just make sure that you're actually using your friction braking. And again, if you know how to use a dual clutch, it's not going to be a problem. It's actually a really fun, it's a really nice daily drive, and yeah, it's one of my favorite powertrains that we offer.
I think a lot of people, they'll go to a dealership, or maybe they're buying it used, whatever, and the salesperson doesn't do their job of explaining to them that it's anything other than an automatic transmission.
Yeah.
People will see the car only has 2 pedals and think, oh, okay, it's just an automatic, put it in drive and you're good. But no, it is different, you know what I mean? Just like a CVT. CVTs have strange characteristics that are different than a regular automatic, or regular than a dual clutch, and that's because it's a different kind of transmission.
Yeah.
So you can't expect them all to feel the same.
Yeah.
Everything keeps disappearing.
I know. Can I address another controversy that has to do with the lights of this vehicle, the taillights?
Sure.
So a lot of people have a problem with the location of the taillights. They say that they're too low. However, after seeing these in the wild, number one, don't tailgate people. That way you can't see their lights. That's a problem. But also, it does have indicators on the mirror, which you're going to be able to see, again, unless you're really, really tailgating. So
if that's the case,
that's on you. But after seeing a couple of these in the wild and trying to intentionally drive behind them, because I'm a freak, it's for science, guys. It's for research purposes. I haven't found that to be the case at all. I've always been able to go and see when people are turning, where they're trying to go, and if they don't indicate, that's on them.
The comment disappeared from our screen because we're looking so far away now, but I think it was DTUK asked if Kia or Hyundai offer any manual transmissions. There's only one, and it is the Elantra N. Yes,
6-speed.
Yes, that is our only manual. Kia's last manual was the Forte. Now they offered it on the GT Limited Turbo, and they also offered it in the base model LX, but that was it. Just gonna look over. With the Tucson, you definitely get a massive trunk for all your luggage for road trips. Yeah, so the Tucson, let's compare apples to apples. So you're still going to get a lot of space in this vehicle and be able to comfortably carry 5 passengers, thanks to the fact that this is a regular bench seat, not a captain's chair. So if you do need 5 passengers and space, you can fold the third row down, you got a ton of it, just like the Tucson. The Tucson's obviously going to be more cost effective, though. Gabi and Charlotte, now it's gone. I just made a tentative sale of the Tucson sitting at home here. Woo!
Woo!
Congrats. Sorry, I'm gonna look at yours now.
Yeah, that's fine. I always look so deadpan when I'm like reading on camera. Oh man.
DTUK said only one. Wow. Yeah, manual transmissions are not popular here in Canada unless they're in sports cars. Most people, a lot of manufacturers offer them for just an entry-level cheap commuter car. So think base model. The basest model of the base model came with a manual option, but now it's fairly inexpensive to just make it an automatic or a CVT, so most manufacturers do that. We'll say our Forte manual transmissions and the base model weren't exactly top sellers. Why only one hybrid trim available in Canada? Tell your corporate overlords to make more hybrids and stop hating the environment. Definitely don't think they hate the environment. We have 2 trim levels of the hybrid. So there's a preferred, trend.
So we've done a video on the preferred with trend. We have yet to get our hands on a preferred. But I say the preferred is trend is something that's probably a little bit more worth it, in my opinion, in my humble opinion.
I will say, this isn't confirmed, but one could speculate. So a lot of people were really excited that there was a calligraphy hybrid for the NHL edition. Not everyone's hockey fans, and not everyone loved the matte exterior that was mandatory with it. So I'm hoping in the future maybe we'll have an ultimate calligraphy hybrid option. That would, I think, definitely be a high seller for this vehicle.
What's your favorite ambient lighting color?
I feel like I'm always usually doing a pink or a purple, something like that. Purple always looks the coolest in my opinion.
Yeah, the purple does look good. It does pop well. Maybe it's because I don't see a lot of purple in everyday life.
Yeah. Gabby, you wore okay. The comments last week got to me. I did wear a belt yesterday. It won't happen again.
Why?
I just don't like belts.
Why did you wear one?
The comments
The
got
comments?
to me. The comments
You were
got
influenced?
Anything else?
Mm,
Well, guys, if you missed your chance to leave us a live Q&A right now, don't worry. We're going to be live again in an hour and a half.
2 p.m. We'll see you there. We're going to have this vehicle, so if you think about your questions of it, stew on them. We're going to be back in this vehicle, but we're also going to have the Kia Sorento with us to let you guys know a little bit more about it.
All right, you gues. Bye.
Bye. See you at 2.
I'm just going to reach over real quick.
Oh, that is so handy.
Oh, it won't end.